Download combo, they're located on Highway 70 right here in Hickory. PDP, we're just made better. Pepsi of Hickory, locally owned and operated since 1925. Want to thank you for filling your needs with Pepsi this season. And thank you for allowing us to serve you all of these years. Pepsi, born in the Carolinas, raised in Hickory. Hey fans, Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac is always here to help by providing family-friendly customer care since 1967. Visit them in person at one of their 2 convenient locations in Hickory and Morganton, or start your search online right now at everettchevy.com. And as you enjoy the action of today's games, please remember to keep in mind the LR COVID protocols by properly wearing your mask over your mouth and nose and keeping a 6-foot distance from those not in your household. Also, no food is allowed inside the Shooter Gymnasium.
Basically, just going to say that Newberry's lost 5 of their last 6.
Yeah.
But they've been competitive against good teams. They just haven't quite been able to find a way to win. And about how LR just couldn't buy a bucket, especially in the second half on Wednesday or on Saturday. And, you know, just offensively that they struggled.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had pretty much the same thing, like coming off an off game, free throws kept them in the game.
Right.
Okay. Danny, I don't know if you can hear, but I kind of sound loud to myself.
It's pretty loud in my ear.
Holiday Hoops matinee inside Schuford Gymnasium here on the campus of Lenoir-Rhyne University. Eric Bach, Chris Rickenbaugh. So glad you're along with us as the Newberry Wolves come to town on this Monday afternoon before Christmas. And Chris, both these teams coming off losses to Tusculum, actually. Newberry didn't play on Saturday. The Bears did right here against the Pioneers and lost by 10, but Bears have split their last two. The win over Anderson on Wednesday was an all-world performance from Emily Harmon. She scored 39 points, didn't have a whole lot of help from her teammates offensively, and then she had an off night offensively on Saturday afternoon against the Pioneers. The Bears scored 48 points and lost by 10 here to Tusculum. And it's a Newberry team. Their record, it's a team that's probably better than their record indicates, only 2-6 in conference play, but they've been competitive with the top of the league with Carson Newman and Tusculum. So this should be a good one here, a little Christmas appetizer here today inside the shoe.
Yeah, both teams coming off 10-point losses to Tusculum, so that's the big thing. They've both played the same team.
Yeah.
Both struggled, though. So Lenoir-Rhyne shot 26% from the field, 12% from the three-point line. What really pointed them down is when Tusculum had 5 3-pointers from the get-go, and that really kind of stretched the game lead and put the Bears in a hole. But free throws really kept them in the game. They shot 82%. They're shooting 78% on the year. Harmon is shooting 94%, only missed 2 free throws the entire year, 46 rebounds as well, and that led to 16 second chance points. It really helped them out through the entire game, but the free throws would really kept them in the game. So look for the Bears every time they get to the free throw line, they have to get those given points every single time they're on the line.
And they got to shoot it better from the outside, too. They're under 40% from the field in their last 2 games outside of Emily Harmon, who went 15 for 26 against Anderson, but only made a couple of field goals from the field on Saturday here against Tusculum. We'll talk more about the starting lineups and more about this matchup coming up after the national anthem, which is right now on the Bear Sports Network. Let's take a look at the starting lineups now for today's Monday matinee. Let's start with Newberry. The Wolves come in to this game with a record of 2-8, 2-6 in the conference. Holly Davies, Courtney Virgo, Malaysia Gates, Julia Bongiorno, and Erica Wisely round out that starting lineup. It's a Newberry team that, as I mentioned in the open, Chris, that's just been close. That, you know, they played Tusculum well. They played Carson Newman really well. That's a Carson Newman team that is probably one of the best teams in the SAC. They only lost by 4. So it's a tough Newberry squad. Now as we take a look at the Lenoir-Rhyne starting lineup. Both starting lineups are presented by Everett Chevrolet, by the way, right here in Hickory. Tilda Lindstrom, Brandy Hudson, Emily Harmon, Maddie Dillinger, Blakely Crooks. Same starting 5 as the Tusculum game on Saturday. So Brandy Hudson has kind of flown under the radar, but she's been in double figures in 6 out of her last 7 games. And Harmon gets all the headlines, deservedly so, but Hudson, the JUCO transfer from Chicago, has really provided the Bears a boost in the front court this year.
Absolutely. 13 points, 2 rebounds against Tusculum, even though it was a pretty dry spell during the middle of the game scoring-wise. But on the year, she has 110 points, 46 rebounds, and a pair of blocks and 7 steals. So, flying under the radar, but the stats show she's one of the best players. Another thing you got to think about going into this game, Hannah McClung out or not in that starting lineup. She's dealing with a little bit of a sickness right now. So it's kind of unsure how much we'll see her, but this allows this starting 5 back-to-back games really coming out, seeing how they blended. I thought they blended really, really well together, and just their connection during the beginning of that game. I mean, they looked like a really, really good team. Tusculum just adapted, and then it was kind of game over from there. But, second game starting, I guess we can see how it goes.
It's a pretty experienced Newberry team, starting 4 or 5 juniors. Davies, Virgo, Gates, Bongiorno, and Wisely, all juniors. It's a Newberry team that went 10-10 a year ago, won a game in the SAC Conference Tournament against Wingate. Both teams desperately need a win. Let's see who gets it as we're underway from the Shoe on this Monday afternoon. Erica Wisely posts up, pivots with the left hand, and drops in the first bucket of the game against Maddie Dillinger. And now Newberry will extend a little bit of full court pressure.
Yeah, don't expect Newberry to go away. I know their record isn't the best, but like you said, they are playing really, really tough. And they did lose by 10 against Tusculum, but they had 30 points in the paint. So it's going to be expect a shootout here. Really tough points. You saw Harmon go for signature shot. She had a really, really tough game against Tusculum. 8 points. Most of those were on the free throw line, but she had 10 rebounds and 4 steals. So still being a dynamic player in that Tusculum game, just a little bit off shooting.
Only one Newberry player averages double figures. That's Talia Roberts, and she didn't even start the game today. Emily Harmon dribbles up the far side. Man-to-man defense for the Wolves. Talk about color schemes in the SAC as there's a turnover. Bad pass from Lidstrom to Crooks. Newberry's colors are some of my favorite in the league. There's very simple red and black. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, the gray camo in the sides too.
That's nice. Wisely gets bumped again and misses the shot as it spins off the front iron. Harmon, who just had anything she wanted on Wednesday night here against Anderson, where she poured in 39 points, 39 of the 64 that the Bears scored, but it's a different story on Saturday. Great feed to Hudson, who has her first 2. Dillinger found her underneath.
That was the move that Tusculum really adapted to in the second quarter, because the Bears were really getting away with those moves just down inside the paint. But once Tusculum kind of figured that out and changed their defense up, that went away. So will Newberry do the same thing that Tusculum did?
Wisely going to work, and she will head to the free throw line after Dillinger gets whistled for the foul. Dillinger blocked the first shot and then picked up the foul the second time. So all of Newberry's offense, the first few possessions, has gone through Erica Wisely, the redshirt junior center from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
Yeah, Wisely third on the leaderboard with scoring 66 points, 45 rebounds, 7 blocks, 5 steals. So pretty good player. About their top 5, it goes 84, 84, 68, and then 2 players with 66. So they're really even scoring team. Everybody contributes, and that kind of goes to who's the team leader, who's the one that really steps up, because the scoring is so even.
Newberry in general has struggled to score the ball. Less than 60 points per game. An open three for Blakely Crooks, and she knocks it down from the corner off the assist from Hudson.
Wide open. Expected Emily Harmon to drive it in or a pass inside, but that left Crooks way open on the outside.
Only her second three of the year. She's now 2 for 10 from behind the stripe. Jumper from Gates is off the front iron. Crooks grabs the rebound off the bounce. Harmon bumped by Gates. And the first foul of the game on Newberry goes on Malaysia. Redshirt junior from Batesburg, Leesville, South Carolina. And now Talia Roberts, the leading scorer for Newberry, comes in off the bench. Number 0 in black. Dillinger got a step. She dumped it off to Hudson, whose shot got blocked by Paraha, who just checked into the game as well, and the ball will go back to Newberry. Tyler, the freshman from Melbourne, Australia, comes off the bench and immediately erases what was a good layup chance there for Hudson.
Nice shot from the outside, but Emily Harmon was right there to kind of disrupt that. Harmon likes to play fast, and she really runs down the courts and beats some of her players down there, and that creates a little bit of chaos sometimes. But she's such a dynamic player. She can dish it out, leads the team in assists.
There's an air ball there from the Bears as after Dillinger missed that long two from the corner. And Davies will come back in for the Wolves.
Davies had 9 points and 5 rebounds against Tusculum last week.
So whistle off the ball. That one's on Blakely Crooks. She held that cutter when she was trying to cut through the lane. Second foul on the Bears, first on Crooks. Harmon went for the steal and missed it. Open three. Spins around and out for Paraha. And the ball back to the Bears. Newberry just a 1 for 7 start from the field. Bears 2 for 6. Nifty dribbling there for Crooks to break the press.
About what we expected from two teams coming off just not shooting well.
Harmon gets a step and gets the bounce on the floater. Those were the shots that just weren't falling for her on Saturday. But she gets the roll that time for her first two. And an early 3-point lead for LR. Dillinger and a travel there on Tyla Stolberg, who just checked into the game. Another Australian, her and Virgo, both from Australia. Stolberg from Brisbane, Virgo from Mackay.
The Bears handling the press is a little bit different too. Normally, or we saw it a little bit against Tusculum to where they were able to beat the press and get a couple scoring opportunities, but that's going to be Paraha knocking that out of bounds.
Yeah, she's been active defensively since she's been in the game. A block shot, nearly a steal there.
Yeah, she was not on my sheet as one of their top players, but having a pretty big effect already in this game, knocking it out of bounds, just playing really well defensively in this first 5 minutes.
Dillinger, a post touch, shot fakes, puts it on the ground, and will head to the free throw line. Probably should have just shot it initially. You generally don't want your post players putting the ball on the floor that close to the rim. And that will take us to the under 5 media timeout here in the opening quarter. Slow shooting start for Newberry, just 1 for 7 from the field. Maddie Dillinger will have 2 free throws when you come back to the shoe on the Bears Sports Network.
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
Back here inside the shoe, just under 5 to go opening quarter. Early 3-point lead for Lenoir-Rhyne over Newberry. Maddie Dillinger at the free throw line, where she shoots at 75% on the year. Gets the roll on the first one. Maddie, the freshman from Waxhaw, came off the bench her first 3 games of her career here at LR. And knocks down both for a 5-point lead. It's a give off there for Stolberg, and her shot gets bothered and grabbed by Dillinger.
Yeah, Dillinger with her 6'2" frame, she really needs to use that down in the paint. We saw that on the last drive when she went to shoot her, or how she got to the line. She just needs to use that height. She can't be dribbling and trying to get under the other defenders.
Hannah McClung in the game. She didn't start. Zone defense for Newberry. We see a lot of these SAC conference opponents as McClung gives it off for Hudson, and one.
That was a clean pass by McClung behind the back. Able to find Hudson. That's going to be Hudson's 4th point of the game, heading to the line for a couple more.
It's a good dish there as you take a look at the Spangler replay. McClung found Hudson in the soft spot in that zone. Brandy did the rest. As I mentioned earlier, double figures in 6 out of her last 7 games, including 25 points combined in the 2 home games. This is the final leg of a 3-game homestand here over the holiday break for the Bears. They'll head to Young Harris on the 30th, so 10 days from now. So biggest break of the season coming up after today for LR. And then they'll have a quick turnaround back here at home on New Year's Day against Lincoln Memorial. So a busy break, and an offensive foul there on Wisely as she just went right through the chest of McClung, the defender there.
Yeah, Wisely's going to have a pretty big impact. She is 6'2", the redshirt junior from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. She's got their only points of the game so far.
Newberry hasn't scored in over 4 minutes. Wisely has the only field goal so far for the Wolves. Are 1 for 9, and her other 2 points came from the free throw line. Harmon gives it off to Hudson. Crooks already has a 3 and then turns it over. The Bears, that's their 4th turnover already. They seemed like they had really corrected those turnover problems. They had 29 of them last Saturday against Catawba in a loss. Turned that around with only 14 turnovers in the win over Anderson on Wednesday, but then back over 20 on Saturday against Tusculum in a 10-point loss. This is April Rummery-Lamb who misses. So a lot of players being used here in the first quarter by Newberry.
Yeah, Newberry just really trying to figure out who they are and what they're good at. Obviously the record isn't where they want it. 2-6 in the conference and 2-8 on the season. I mean, these teams are just so early into the year so far that really once they get past that New Year's or December break, I think they can really start to figure out and have a plan toward the SAC championship.
Open look for Dillinger there off the inbound. She gets her 2nd bucket of the game. And Newberry just can't buy one there as Rummery-Lamb misses another close one.
Yeah, they miss Virgo wide open beyond the arc on the other side.
It's a Newberry team that shoots it under 35% from the floor as a team and under 30% from three, so they've really struggled shooting the ball. Gates almost lost her dribble. The two defenders went flying by, but she missed the layup and then missed it again. So that was a high percentage look there, but there's a lid on the basket right now for the Wolves.
Yeah, lost the dribble. It almost worked better or worked out for her, but yeah, just couldn't quite put it in.
Hudson cutting, blocked on the help side there by Virgo, and she runs it down. Courtney had 17 points in that Carson Newman loss. It was only by 3. And this will stay with Newberry as Crooks had the good defense there.
I believe that was McClung who knocked it out.
Mallory Sherrill comes back in. Sherrill actually, Newberry and LR, because in the last basketball season there were so many schedule changes due to COVID, they actually played each other twice in a week. And the home team won each of the matchups. Both by 11. Newberry by 11 down at Newberry. Bears by 11 here. McClung off a great feed on the break. And the Bears have opened up a double-digit lead here in the first quarter. Newberry's scoring drought has reached 6 minutes. Maybe it'll be broken here. It is. A layup from Stolberg off a good feed on the outside.
Yeah, Stolberg, their highest scorer coming into this game, tied with Bongiorno.
Newberry 1 for their last 10 from the floor. Hudson kicks and then gets it back from Crooks. What a dish there from Blakely for the easy 2.
I couldn't tell if that was a pass or it got knocked out.
I think it was a pass. Looked like a little English there.
We'll count it as an assist.
Stolberg again, wild, but will head to the free throw line as Mallory Sherrill, who has seen her minutes decrease this year, but she had 2 good games against Newberry last year, double figures in both of the matchups. So she gets whistled for the foul. That's the first on her, third on LR. So Tyla Stolberg will head to the free throw line, where she's a 66% shooter.
I noticed McBride checked into the game for LR. She was cooking in warm-ups. I think I counted 6 for 6 beyond the arc, back-to-back. So when they get the ball back, don't be too shocked if McBride gets a couple of chances for shots.
Tatum, number 1 in white, a senior from Pleasant Hill, Ohio, hasn't quite found her footing this year offensively. Here she is. About a 15-second difference between game and shot clock. McClung an air ball straight away. She's really struggled with her shot as well. The Bears as a team haven't shot it well from 3, only 28% on the season. And could be the last possession of the quarter as the shot clock is off. Post feed inside to Stolberg, and she gets it ripped.
Yeah, Stolberg 6'2", playing down in the paint, using her size, and that's what we expected Dillinger to do. She's got the height. Use it down inside the paint, and you're going to be a really big help to your team.
Lindstrom a 3 at the buzzer, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Coach Joanna Tincher for Newberry doing the surrender cobra on the bench as she watched her Wolves struggle offensively. Only 2 for 14 from the field for Newberry in the first quarter, but they got 4 points from the free throw line and trail by 9 after 1 here inside the shoe on the Bears Sports Network.
Emergencies don't wait. Get to the hospital. Accidents happen. Get well soon. When it hurts to move forward, Tackle your pain. Don't make your health wait. See your doctor. Your health means everything.
Second quarter in the shoe. Newberry finished the first quarter 1 for their last 10. Bears were 7 for 16, 43% from the field, most of them layups. This isn't a layup, it's a corner three for McBride. Off the heel, rebound to Virgo. And a blocking foul there called on Mallory Sherrill as Bongiorno got a step.
Yeah, heels were on the line. That's going to get called every time. See Cheryl starting to get worked back in. She played a pretty big role last season when there were some different issues like COVID. So she's starting to get a little bit more time as we're seeing Harmon explaining something to coach, really trying to get a plan on what they can do. Put a couple more points on the board.
Bongiorno hits both. She's only a 55% free throw shooter, so she does well to knock both of those down. She's taken the most shots on this Newberry team, but as we've noticed here in the first half for the Wolves, there's no player that averages over 30 minutes per game on this Newberry team. They play a lot of players. They rotate a lot of people often. It's Harmon, who had a quiet end of the first quarter, got bumped there. No call, but it'll stay with the Bears off of Bongiorno. The shot clock resets to 20.
Lots of subbing keeps the players fresh, but being able to feel out your teammates and understand what their strengths are, that comes from practice, but that also comes in the game, and that's one of the things I kind of see or you see with this Newberry team is, I mean, there's just a lot of different players subbing in and out.
Lindstrom, a three from the corner. She knocks it down. Good assist there from Crooks after she got doubled to find the open shooter.
That's going to be her first points in the game as well.
Tilda, 7 for 14 from the outside this year. She doesn't shoot it often, but makes it pretty often when she does shoot it. 10 to shoot for Newberry. Roberts, the leading scorer on this team, will head to the free throw line. She missed the first 5 games of the season, has only played in the most recent 5. Senior from Columbia, South Carolina, will head to the free throw line to shoot 2, where she shoots at 66%, but only 6 for 9 on the season so far. As Hudson will come back in for Dillinger.
Yeah, Dillinger 2 fouls already.
Yeah, that one was on her. That was her second.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if they called it on Crooks or Dillinger. Yeah, but yeah, that's going to be Dillinger's second, and with her playing in the paint and both these teams getting most of their points there, that could potentially be pretty big in the end of the game.
Newberry has 7 points from the free throw line in this game. They only have 2 buckets. So now 8 of their 12 points have come from the stripe. 4 different players are 2 for 2.
Yeah, 100% from the free throw line. We saw how it worked out for the Bears on Saturday, just keeping them in the game. Could work out for Newberry as well.
Bears haven't had any trouble with this full court pressure from Newberry until right now. There's a turnover, and now Courtney Virgo, the run out, misses. Rebound to Davies, who traveled.
That's two or three different chances we've seen on the fast break where they just haven't been able to get it down, and it's been ball control. I don't think McBride got a finger on it, but yeah, just ball control is playing a factor right now.
Lidstrom almost turns it over. That's classic announcer jinx. I mentioned how the Bears have not had any trouble with the press, and then they turn it over and then nearly turn it over again. Emily Harmon, she's been bottled up today. Doubled here. 5 to shoot. They feed Hudson, who has to hurry. She's doubled. McBride a three from the wing, and she drops it in right at the shot clock buzzer.
Yeah, we saw it in warm-ups. I said she went 6 for 6, and, I mean, you got to feed who's hot. Three different players hitting a three or hitting beyond the arc right now.
4th three of the season for McBride. Here's an open shot for Paraha in the corner. She misses. Lidstrom, the rebound, doesn't have numbers, and wisely pulls it back out. Paraha is a very tight, ferocious defender. And there's another turnover. This one a steal by Davies. One-on-one with Lidstrom. Euro step. Misses too strong off the backboard.
Struggling with the layups right now.
Hudson a touch. Crooks, who's been a distributor so far. A couple of assists to go along with 3 rebounds. Hudson reverse. That's the shot that she loves to take from that left side around and up, but nothing doing there. Roberts. Man, Newberry around the basket has missed a ton of shots. Now they're 2 for 18 from the field. Only Stolberg and Wisely have made a shot, and there's another steal for Roberts. Here she comes, floats it up, and will head to the free throw line as it just barely spins out. Fouls on McBride.
And McBride, when she dribbled down the court, it looked like she was looking for Harmon, but Harmon was going to the corner. Couldn't set up their offense the way they wanted to, and then communicating with the coach, I think Roberts got a hand on it. But the Bears scoring pretty well, but they have a lot of attempts. Only 43% from the field, but 43% from the free throw line, or three-point line, excuse me, as well.
Roberts makes the first. But 7 different Bears have made a shot from the field as Roberts knocks them both down and will come out. Rummery Lamb comes back in for her, another Australian from Darwin. So there are 4 total players from Australia on this team for Newberry. Lidstrom gets cut off on the baseline there by Bongiorno. Crooks behind the back. Shot fake. Gives it off to Lindstrom for the easy layup. Blakely Crooks has been a driver and facilitator here in this first half for the Bears, who have opened up a double-digit lead again. There's Wisely back to work. She's got her second field goal of the game. She's got 6 points now to lead the Wolves.
Yeah, if you look at the Bears' offense, just about everybody that's been on the court has scored except Cheryl. So really spreading the ball around, and you can tell on the 25 points that it is creating or pretty good offense. I think that's going to stay with the Bears.
No, Lidstrom tipped it out of bounds, I think, and they give it back to Newberry as Virgo comes back in. There's a steal for Hudson on a bad entry pass. Harmon running the break to the rim, plus a foul. That's when she's at her best, when she has a full head of steam out in transition, and she will try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play.
Yeah, not something Newberry wants to do is put the leading free throw scorer on the line. Only missed 2 on the season so far, as you're looking at a replay of it, or not.
Harmon, automatic from the line, completes the three-point play. Only 5 points for Emily here in the first half, but others have picked up the pace offensively, which is what Graham Smith wants. He told me, while it's great to have Harmon go for 39 in a game, as Bongiorno knocks down the three. She's 34% from out there. First three of the game for Newberry, but talking about Harmon, it's great to have somebody go for 39 points, but Graham Smith would like to not need somebody to go for 39 points to win the game. Crooks passed up an open three. That was a wise decision, but she missed the bunny right around the basket. And here come the Wolves. Bongiorno. Air ball after she swished the last one. Ball tipped around, grabbed by Wisely, who rolls it in.
Yeah, Wisely just using her height, 6'2", down in the paint. That's going to be really, really tough to beat, and that's where Newberry is getting a lot of their points from this whole year. So it's going to be a dogfight down there in the paint for the Bears and the Wolves.
Graham Smith doesn't like what he sees. Little 5-0 burst for the Wolves in 52 seconds. Timeout Bears will take it with them. 7-point lead for LR on the Bears Sports Network.
Doesn't matter who you are, Everett has you covered. Proud sponsor of the LR Bears.
If you play hard, if you use your feet to chase fitness goals, if you stand all day at work, introducing True Energy Infrared Technology Socks. These may be the best socks you ever wear. Our yarn is infused with infrared nanoparticles. Your body's natural heat ignites these tiny particles, producing infrared energy that improves circulation and stimulates cellular recovery. It's not magic, it's rocket science. The perfect sock for your active life, for fitness, performance, recovery. Proven innovation to ignite your true energy.
Back here in the shoe, Newberry's found their footing a little bit offensively here. They made 3 out of their last 4 shots after a dreadful 2-for-14 start from the field. Bears still lead by 7, up a touchdown, 28-21 here inside the shoe. And a steal immediately off the inbound there for Newberry. Open 3, Virgo misses. McClung grabs the rebound.
Yeah, if you're that wide open, you got to take that shot. I don't think LR expected them to be that close, especially in the press. They've been kind of taking it easy on the Wolves, but you got to stay locked in this entire game. It's going to be a kick.
Davies whistled for the kick. Shot clock resets to 20.
Yeah, Bears with not a lot of height. Dillinger's been out since that second foul, only 9 minutes today for Herb. Lindstrom's about the tallest player for the Bears right now, but they have her around the perimeter.
Late clock for McClung. Doubled, has to hurry, and a little bit of a bailout there. Wisely knew it. She gets called for the blocking foul as McClung tried to get by her. Only the second foul of the quarter on Newberry, but the second one on Wisely, who leads the Wolves with 8 points, so she'll head to the bench. Crooks, who's been very active offensively here in the first half, gives it off to Hudson, strong, and will be rewarded with a trip to the free throw line. Fouls on Stolberg.
Yeah, she definitely got a hand on it there, but it's just going to be, like I keep saying, it's just going to be so hard to go down low for the Bears with all the height down inside the paint.
Brandy Hudson to the line. She's a 71% free throw shooter. Gives Graham Smith 12 points and 5 rebounds per game. Sinks the first. And the second. 8 points for Brandy, including a rebound, a couple assists, and a steal. Bongiorno, a long 2, misses the rim, barely grazes the backboard, and Hudson grabs the ground ball there and starts the break. But good defense there for Davies. Looked like Graham Smith was trying to call timeout, but then decided against it.
Yeah, I heard timeout.
I heard him say timeout, unless I'm just hearing things.
Nope, I heard it too.
Okay. Lindstrom in a corner three-pointer. A little bit too strong. Rebound to Gates. Cross-court pass. It's the right idea there for Davies, but just threw it too far up court for Virgo to run it down.
Yeah, that definitely had to be a conversation in the Newberry huddle, because they've missed a couple, or they've had somebody around the arc just completely wide open. I mean, there had to be 10, 15 feet. Nobody around, so you can definitely tell they were trying to go to that.
Harmon steps into a three, short. Buongiorno grabs the rebound. And Hudson steps in front of that lazy entry pass. Her second steal. The eighth turnover of the first half for Newberry. McBride looks for Harmon. 10 to shoot. Emily crossover in the lane, tripped up, and will head to the foul line. That's just one of those times where Emily Harmon just creates her own offense there late in the shot clock. We see that fairly often.
Yeah, being really aggressive, and I think that was on the edge of being called. I don't think anybody really got a hand on her. I thought it was a trip.
Yeah, I think that's what they called on Gates. It's the fourth team foul on Newberry here in the second quarter as Harmon sinks the first. So Bears in the bonus the rest of the way here before halftime.
Yeah, pretty well in control, too, compared to what we saw versus Tusculum, where they had to really play behind. And not shooting terrible either. 40% from the field and 30% from the three-point line.
And almost then only right on their season average.
Yeah, and only one miss from the free throw line.
Ella Pearson in the game for the first time for Newberry, the freshman from England. Pass gets deflected.
Yeah, Harmon's just so quick. We've seen that quite a few times today. I'd say 3 or 4 to where she's just poked it out, where she really shouldn't have maybe had a shot at it.
And a travel there as April Rummery-Lamb got caught in between a pass and a shot. Tried to dribble it, but it was too late, so another turnover for Newberry. And the Wolves, who had a 6-minute scoring drought in the first quarter, have now reached 3 minutes without a bucket here in the second quarter. Hudson, they've been running that flex cut, and Crooks has found her about 3 different times now. Brandy's into double figures. She's got 10 points here in the first half.
Probably the most well-rounded we've seen the Bears play scoring-wise so far on the season. Only one Bear hasn't scored that's been on the court, but everybody else has really contributed rebounds, assists. Pretty solid performance right now for the Bears. Exactly what you need going into the break.
And that's 4 assists now for Blakely Crooks here in the first half. 3 out of the 4 have gone to Hudson. Here's another feed for Hudson. And she's going to work right now on the block.
Yeah.
Biggest
really
lead of the
nice
game
pass
for the Bears. About a 1-second difference between game and shot clock. And 3 seconds there on Rummery-Lamb, who just stood there in the middle of the lane, in the middle of that zone.
Yeah, it looked like they were waiting to kind of run out the clock.
Officials are talking about something. And they will inbound under the basket as opposed to the sideline.
Yeah, that press is going to be really tough, especially with 15 seconds left.
Shot clock turned off. Blakely Crooks fades away. Doesn't get the bounce. Ball tipped around, and that will be the end of the first half. What a first half it was for the Bears. They lead by 15 and outscore Newberry 19-13 in that second quarter to open up their biggest lead of the game at 15. Newberry doesn't score one single point the last 4 minutes of the half. Brandy Hudson's got 12 first half points, right on her season average for an entire game. Graham Smith and the Bears feeling good about a 15-point halftime lead. We'll be back in 15 minutes for the second half here on the Bears Sports Network.
This once-in-a-generation project will give student athletes an advantage and position Lenoir-Rhyne as a leader in academics and athletics.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Emergencies don't wait. Get to the hospital. Accidents happen. Get well soon. When it hurts to move forward, tackle your pain. Don't make your health wait. See your doctor. Your health means everything.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Doesn't matter who you are, Everett has you covered. Proud sponsor of the LR Bears.
If you play hard, if you use your feet to chase fitness goals, if you stand all day at work. Introducing True Energy Infrared Technology Socks. These may be the best socks you ever wear. Our yarn is infused with infrared nanoparticles. Your body's natural heat ignites these tiny particles, producing infrared energy that improves circulation and stimulates cellular recovery. It's not magic, it's rocket science. The perfect sock for your active life, for fitness, performance, recovery. Proven innovation to ignite your true energy.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
Paramount Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
About 55 seconds away from the second half here inside Schuford Gymnasium. Eric Bach, Chris Rickenbaugh, glad you're along with us. A 15-point halftime lead for Lenoir-Rhyne over Newberry. And Chris, it was a pretty efficient offensive first half for the Bears. They shoot 43%, make 3 threes, but Brandy Hudson led the way with 12 points, and she basically got whatever she wanted around the basket.
Yeah, 16 points off turnovers compared to Newberry's 2, and then 20 points in the paint compared to Newberry's 8. So that's probably the biggest difference we're seeing right now is that Brandy Hudson, 12 total points, 2 rebounds, 2 free throws, and a pair of steals. She's been the player of the game so far, but you look at the different things that Lenoir-Rhyne is doing. They're playing fast, and that's generally just about it. We've seen Emily Harmon. She's playing just a little bit more comfortably today, getting a couple shots to go down. And once she's dynamic and really making a difference on the court, that's when we see Lenoir-Rhyne, just their whole team, really explode.
Harmon's shot volume way down. She, at this point in the Tusculum game a couple of days ago, had already taken 13 shots, only 5 first half shot attempts. She made 2 of them, including 3 for 3 from the free throw line. So Newberry trying to find some offense here in the second half. They only shot 5 for 24, and there is an offensive foul. Not a good start, as Malaysia Gates whistled for the offensive foul to start the second half, just 6 seconds, into the third quarter.
Yeah, shoulder to the chest, that's going to get called pretty easily.
Blakely Crooks, who had a really efficient first half, 4 assists, along with 3 rebounds, feeds Hudson, who almost traveled but kept the pivot foot down. Addie Dillinger, who was sidelined most of the first half with foul trouble, turns it over on the Bears' first possession of the half.
Yeah, Dillinger only in for 9 minutes.
And now probably will be headed back to the bench after she gets whistled for her third foul right there.
Yeah, it's just tough being tall. It's always a target, and especially with her presence down in the paint, I mean, you're going to get those calls, whether it's blocking or on the other side.
Gates misses the free throw. So Graham Smith opts to keep Dillinger in the game with those 3 fouls. See if he can trust the freshman to not pick up that 4th one, at least for quite a while, as Gates misses both free throws. Those are the first 2 misses of the day from the stripe for Newberry. They had half their points in the first half from the free throw line.
Yeah, definitely not what you want to see. I mean, they were 10 for 10 in that first half on free throws. That's really impressive when their average is 62% coming into today's game.
It's another giveaway for the Bears, and then Gates gets whistled for an unfortunate foul there as her leg got tangled up with Hudson. So she picks up 2 quick ones to start this second half, and now will sit with 3 total fouls for the game. But a very sloppy first 63 seconds of this third quarter. 4 combined turnovers.
Crooks has had a pretty solid day. Only 3 points, but she's got 4 rebounds and 4 assists on the day.
Harmon gets the teardrop to swish. She's got 9 points now. And another turnover. Hudson sneaks over to the help side and has a lot of numbers. Gives it off to Harmon. And she's not able. Well, now she is. And she drops it in as she acted like she was going away from the basket. Spun back towards the rim. And the lead is 19 for the Bears. Newberry hasn't scored in 5 minutes and 57 seconds of game time back to the first half. And it's all LR right now, 40-21. We'll take the timeout with the Wolves on the Bears Sports Network.
Emergencies don't wait. Get to the hospital. Accidents happen. Get well soon. When it hurts to move forward, tackle your pain. Don't make your health wait. See your doctor. Your health means everything.
I just want everyone to know that during the break, my partner Chris was hating on the Christmas music being played here in the shoe. It's 5 days before Christmas, Chris. If there was ever a time to play Christmas music, it's now.
Yeah, it's just different at a basketball game. I don't hate Christmas.
Ebenezer Scrooge over here. Bears are happy the Christmas season is here, at least today. 19-point lead. And they haven't given up a point in over 6 minutes. Talia Roberts trips and then gets tied up there by Tilda Lindstrom, but man, that's a microcosm of the entire day for Newberry. Roberts just tripped over her own feet right there and turned it over.
Yeah, Wisely being their leading scorer with 8 points, and then only 3 other Wolves on the board. That's the sign of a pretty tough day. Nothing really pops out.
Dillinger pivots to the left hand.
Yeah, that's going to be her 6th point of the game. Using that height, being able to get in there, and that's been the Bears' key play today. Just that quick pass inside for the layup.
Dillinger and Hudson have been the beneficiary. Roberts a 3 that barely grazes the net, and Harmon steals it away. Lindstrom all alone up ahead. Can she gather herself? She can. Plus a foul. It actually ended up being beneficial that she waited, as Diane Burke hit her as she went up, and the old-fashioned three-point play chance coming up for Tilda.
Yeah, I thought the pass by Harmon looked more like an alley-oop than just a normal pass, but yeah, nice move right under the hoop. Kind of put her in an awkward spot, but a good recovery.
She completes the three-point play, but this is the beginning of a stretch for the Bears that there are a lot of winnable games coming up. There's another steal for Emily Harmon, and she scoops it in with the right hand and goes down in a heap, but she seems to be okay. They've got a good Young Harris team coming up 10 days from now in their final game of 2021. But then their next 3 games in league play are very winnable. 2 games against Lincoln Memorial and 1 against Queens, as Dillinger whistled for her 4th foul right there. But so she'll have to come out now with 6:41 to go in the third quarter. But Lincoln Memorial and Queens are both very strong on the men's side, but not so much on the women's side. And if the Bears can finish this game off today, which all indications point as though they will be able to, at least at this point in time, and then they can find a way to win on the road against Young Harris, although that game, all games matter, but that game matters less because it's not a conference game. But if the Bears can beat Lincoln Memorial here on New Year's Day, they go to Queens on January 5th, and then again to Lincoln Memorial on the 8th. So 2 games with the Rail Splitters to start the first week of 2022. This could be the beginning of a run here in conference play for the Bears as they try to get back to the conference tournament.
Absolutely. This isn't a bad Bears team. They're really just trying to figure out who they were after a crazy season last year. I mean, they're really just trying to figure out with this new squad, lots of different people subbing in. You have the veterans who have been here for 4 years.
Look at Crooks through some tight defense there, gets the tough 2 to drop. But yeah, you're right. It's a team that's still trying to gel. Graham Smith just in his 2nd year trying to build the roster the way he wants to, but the schedule, once they kind of get through this murderer's row of games that ends here today with Newberry, there's a lot of winnable games on the horizon coming up for LR. So
absolutely. Maybe
a chance to establish themselves in the middle part or in the upper echelon of the teams here in what is a very evenly matched South Atlantic Conference. Lindstrom along 2, too strong. Sherrill the offensive rebound and put back. Everything going the Bears' way right now. A 23-4 run over the last 9 minutes for LR.
Yeah, I would expect to see just a couple different faces come in as Harmon gets another steal. Not able to get that.
As Crooks grabs the rebound, but even on the misses, the Bears are getting their own rebounds, out-rebounding Newberry just by 2 right now, 21-19. But this second half has been all LR as there's a foul on Bongiorno.
Yeah, I would expect to see a couple new faces here pretty soon. I see McBride checking in. But this squad's played really, really good, and we're going to head into the media timeout, and we'll be right back here on the Bears Sports Network.
Doesn't matter who you are, Everett has you covered. Proud sponsor of the LR Bears.
If you play hard, if you use your feet to chase fitness goals, if you stand all day at work, introducing True Energy infrared technology socks. These may be the best socks you ever wear. Our yarn is infused with infrared nanoparticles. Your body's natural heat ignites these tiny particles, producing infrared energy that improves circulation and stimulates cellular recovery. It's not magic, it's rocket science. The perfect sock for your active life, for fitness, performance, recovery. Proven innovation to ignite your true energy.
Lenoir-Rhyne has outscored Newberry 15-2 in the first 5 minutes of this third quarter and open up a huge lead of 28 points here inside the shoe. By far their largest lead of the game. Eric Bach, Chris Rickenbaugh, glad you're with us. Don't forget, men's game is coming up after the end of this one, about 25 minutes after, as Blake Simmons will join me for that one. Blake on the bench right now. There's a turnover for LR, and an open three for Courtney Virgo, who knocks it down. Man, did Newberry need that. They have been just completely stagnant offensively today. And that made three raises their shooting percentage to 22% today, which says a lot about how they've shot the ball the rest of the game.
Yeah, definitely been a tough day for Newberry. Not what they were expecting at all. And they've played pretty tough against some pretty good teams, but today it's just, something different. LR just shooting the ball really, really well, playing really well defensively, and then they've put themselves in a good spot, up 15 with about 14 minutes left. But this Lenoir-Rhyne team can just get better. Hannah McClung dealing with a little bit of a sickness. Alyssa Wagner, her roommate, actually dealing with a broken fingers. That was a clean pass to Hudson right there. It was,
and Crooks was just dribbling and dribbling, but she finally got out of it and found Hudson for her 5th assist. But there's the answer for Newberry as Wisely lays it in. She's into double figures now. She's got 10, and the rest of the Wolves have 18 here this afternoon as Erica Reed, the freshman from Cary, North Carolina, in the game, gets whistled for the hand check there. And that is the 5th foul on Newberry here in the third quarter. They've got 5 points and 5 fouls here in the quarter, and Tatum McBride will shoot 2.
Yeah, Dillinger being the only one in foul trouble, but Gates also in foul trouble on the Wolves. Harmon with 13 points, Hudson 14. Every Bear on the court right now has scored and put points on the board.
Tilda Lindstrom comes back in, the freshman from Husqvarna, Sweden. 6 points against Tusculum. Scored double digits on the road at Carson Newman. There's a straightaway three that clanks off back iron for Bongiorno. Rebound fought for and a held ball called. And the ball will stay with Newberry.
Something interesting to think about for the Wolves is that they do have a lot of foreign players. I see England, four players from Australia. Yeah, 2 from England. You have Italy. That can create some kind of, just tough communication, and that could be something that Newberry's dealing with too. I'm sure that's really tough. And then you have Kentucky and South Carolina. Kentucky's a pretty different place if you've ever been there.
Basically a foreign land. There's a foul on Newberry on the rebound as Wisely gets whistled.
Yeah, but I was thinking about that during the break, how that communication can be just so different. Basketball is still basketball, but just the language and communicating can be a lot different. But like you said, the Wolves have played pretty well. They have 2 wins so far, but
the thing about them is that they have, even in their losses, their record is 2-6 in the SAC.
Yeah,
they have been competitive in those losses. It's not like they've gotten blown out, even by the top of the league, Carson Newman and Tusculum. But today they are getting blown out, and there is, I think, just out of bounds there on Newberry, so the ball will stay with Lenoir-Rhyne right in front of the Bear bench.
And something I like seeing from the Wolves is that everybody's scoring and contributing. 2 players had 84 points leading coming into this game, and they're all within that 66 to 84 range coming into the game, and Gates is the leading rebounder. And she added 2 today, so she's got 71 on the year. Oh.
McClung.
What was that?
Misses the 3 after she shook Paraha right out of her shoes there almost. Newberry, I mentioned earlier, 10-10 last year. There's a corner 3 that is off the side of the backboard. That's not good.
Not quite.
And a foul on McClung as Gates chases down the loose ball there. So that's the 3rd foul on LR here in the 3rd quarter. But in 2019-20, Newberry went 16-12. They lost in the first round of the SAC Conference Tournament and just were on the bubble of the NCAA tournament as there's a blocking foul called there on Cheryl.
Bears up 27, but not going to let this go. They're going to fight for every point and call here.
Up 27, though. So Gates will shoot 2. She's a 58% shooter and misses the first. She's had some struggles today from the free throw line, 0 for 3 now.
Yeah, still, the team's still shooting over their normal average. 62% coming into today, and now a little over 80%.
Roberts comes back in. In her 5 games, talking about Talia Roberts, she is the leading scorer for Newberry, over 10 points per game, but only 4 points today. And all 4 points have come from the free throw line. She hasn't made a shot from the floor. Sometimes talking escapes me. Hudson, she went to work on the block, kicks it out for McBride, who shoots an air ball. And back to Newberry as McClung wasn't able to save it.
Yeah, Newberry with 18 turnovers today. They've been averaging 22 per game. We're still in the 3rd quarter, so we might get closer to that number, but they've really been playing just about to where they normally do. Normally average 44 rebounds per game. Not quite there yet, but we also have another quarter left.
Crooks will come back in for Hudson. And Brandy gives her some words of wisdom before she comes to the bench. Full court press here for Newberry.
Only 8 Bears checked into the game, and we know we talked about Newberry liking to sub a lot of players, and you can really see that on the stat sheet. But the Bears really sticking with their main 8 players, and it's worked out with them. I think they just need more time on the court in game to really get to know each other and how each play. That was a nice move.
She had 2 great games against Newberry last season, and with the arrival of Hudson has seen her minutes decrease this year. She hasn't been healthy some of the time either, but she has played really well today. There's a miss there by Stolberg, who just can't buy a bucket, but now on the 3rd chance, she finally drops it in.
Yeah, Mallory Sherrill, just with her height, she's got a lot of potential down inside the paint, and she's pretty agile making those moves like this.
Here she is again. That's the move she's gone to a lot today as Lidstrom misses. Those are the shots right there that is going to separate LR between being an average team and being a team that can really make some noise in the SAC. I know that this game is probably over at this point, but that's a wide-open second-chance layup there for the Bears that they just point-blank miss. And those are the ones you have to have when the games are close. Now, it doesn't really matter a whole lot in this game because of how it's played out, especially here in the third quarter. But those are the ones that you just have to have as Stolberg knocks down the first free throw.
Yeah. Cheryl really reminds me of Carly Bearden a couple years ago, who played for Lenoir-Rhyne. She was a really dynamic player right where Cheryl plays, and just her playing style and abilities, it's really pretty close. So she can definitely, she's definitely going to be a main player maybe at the end of this year or next year when a couple of these seniors move on.
Harmon hasn't had to do a whole lot today scoring-wise. Here she is, kicks it out to McBride, who shot fakes, and her floater misses long. Cheryl the offensive rebound. About a 8-second difference between game and shot clock here as we wind down the end of the third. Hannah McClung off a screen. Left-handed dribble, got bumped, and will head to the free throw line.
Yeah, McClung's a really, really tough player. Can really get after it. Had an ACL surgery, but she came in her freshman year playing. I mean, up on the wall in the new weight room. Just a really, really dynamic player and an even player that the coach can really rely on to lead this team.
Drops in the first free throw. Hasn't shot a ton of free throws this year, only 5 for 6 from the line coming in. Splits the pair there, but an offensive rebound for Crooks. Part of the reason why the Bears have extended this lead is because of second chance points. Harmon's got to go here. The end of the clock. Straightaway three. Spins out, but it was a really good third quarter for the Bears. They outscored Newberry 22-12. They had a 15-point halftime lead. And now it's 25 as we head to the fourth quarter here on the Bears Sports Network, presented by NBA Roofing.
Moret Stadium is an iconic part of LR Athletics, hosting games, tailgating, marching band competitions, sports camps, and graduation ceremonies. The stadium serves as a valued focal point for the greater Hickory area. The time has come to renovate the stadium to allow LR to continue to offer our student athletes, fans, and the community an exceptional experience.
Paramount Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
They're playing Alvin and the Chipmunks through the speakers here inside Schufer Gym. Is that okay with you, Chris? I know that you know, 5 days before Christmas, you have such a problem with Christmas music.
Man, you're going to keep trying for that, aren't you?
Hey, man. We got 10 minutes left. I got to get my digs in before this thing ends.
Nope, don't hate Christmas.
Cheryl will go to the line. Good set there for the Bears. They call that flex cut right across the lane there, and LR has gotten a lot of good looks, gotten a lot of buckets off of that, and when they haven't scored, they've usually gone to the free throw line. So Cheryl will do that here and misses the first.
Yeah, being up 25, we'll see if anybody else kind of checks in, but head coach Graham Smith has really stayed with the starting 8, so he might just leave him out there, especially with a non-conference game coming up. It might be a tough one, but I would have my players fresh, but at least they're going to be getting a little bit of a break.
Yeah, 10-day break should give some fresh legs to the Bears as Newberry just throws that one away. Their 19th turnover. The Bears got off to a bad turnover start today. They had 5 turnovers in the first 5-ish minutes of this game, but only 11 for the game right now. So an area that had plagued them so much before the homestand. They've cleaned that up for the most part here at home in at least 2 out of the 3 games. Crooks, 18-footer, spins out.
The best thing Lenoir-Rhyne's been doing today, and one of the bigger gaps, has been the offensive rebounds for those second chance points. That's points off turnovers, too. They have 27 points off of those turnovers compared to Newberry's 5, and that's pretty much the lead. 36 points in the paint for the Bears compared to Newberry's 12, but only 10 second chance points. The rebounding has been pretty even throughout the day.
And LR's defense has a lot to do with this, as McClung misses the 3, but Harmon, the offensive rebound, goes up and one again. Emily's got 15 points now to lead the Bears, and will have a chance for one more from the line.
Yeah, she is such a tough, dynamic player, and we saw it last year too. Freshman of the year.
Yep.
Definitely probably on the list for first team conference this year.
She's also stuffed the stat sheet too. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals. So she's done it all. But going back to my point about the game in general, the Bears' defense has been great today. Probably their best defensive performance of the year, but Newberry's shot 8 for 36 from the field. That's 22%. There's a foul on McClung on the drive.
Yeah, the Bears' three-point shooting not that great either, only 21%, but they're shooting a lot better from the field, 45%.
A lot of those have been high percentage around the basket looks. Almost a steal there, but wisely muscled that through a couple of defenders.
Yeah, Hannah couldn't believe she didn't get that one. Had it in her hands, basically.
Harmon guarded by Bongiorno. And now a cross-court turnover as Courtney Virgo intercepts that pass.
Yeah, a lot of traffic in the way. Definitely didn't see her.
Wisely misses. But outside of Wisely, she's got 12 points. 5 of 9 shooting for her. Stolberg has 8. And the next leading scorer for Newberry has just 4 points. So Crooks went for the steal, but the pass was too tall. Virgo with 3 from the wing, buries it. And the timeout for Newberry. That is Virgo's second 3 of the game. Newberry's got 3 total 3-pointers today. So a little bit of an offensive jolt here for Newberry. Little 5-0 run over the last minute. They'll take a timeout. We'll take it with them. Short little break here on the Bear Sports Network.
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
Back just in time here inside the shoe. 23-point lead for the Bears and a turnover right there at midcourt. Bears had not much trouble with the Newberry pressure for the better part of this game, but recently there's been some problems.
Yeah, Newberry not going away, though. They're still playing pretty tough defensively, still on the press. Maybe trying something different out. But just not giving up, and you got to love that from a team that might not even be playing well in this or in the game, but just playing till the end, and that's something that every coach loves to see.
Bears have turned it over 4 times in the last couple of minutes after it was just the announcer curses. Virgo knocks down her second 3 in a row. The lead is back to 20 now with 6.5 to go, and Graham Smith doesn't like what he sees. Bears haven't scored in 2 minutes, and he will call a short 30-second timeout here to just reset it. But LR, 4 turnovers the last couple of minutes, haven't scored in 2 minutes. Newberry scored 8 points in that time, so a lead that was up near in the 30s is now back to 20 as there's Virgo knocking down a couple threes in a row. She came in really struggling from the outside, just 11 for 57 from 3 the entire season. 11 for 17 would be really good, but 11 for 57 is under 20%. But today, she's 3 for 7, so raising that season average.
And kind of like when you saw Virgo with that open 3, that's what we saw a little bit earlier, and Newberry just wasn't seeing it along the perimeter or out in the corner, but there's been those shots there a couple times. It just seems like they came, or out of that break or out of the starting the fourth quarter, they came out with a little bit of extra energy. I'm not sure if Coach got them fired up or they came out with something a little bit different.
Harmon turns it over, but then steals it back. Hudson back in the game. She had an extended rest. And now Crooks will take an open 3 straight away and almost got the roll. And it will stay with the Bears as Ella Pearson was not able to corral that rebound. Dillinger back in the game now with 4 fouls, but she's been really limited, only 15 minutes today because of that foul trouble.
Yeah, having a little bit of an off game right from the start, getting off those 2 fouls, came out 9 minutes into the game, but she just, the freshman just hasn't quite learned to use her height yet along the bucket. She tries to get under the defender where she needs to be over top and maybe try a different spin move or a hook shot to really use that height effectively rather than trying to go underneath someone a little bit shorter.
That was a foul on Holly Davies there on Harmon. That's the 3rd team foul on Newberry here in the fourth quarter. Crooks looking for Dillinger on the block. Bounce pass to her. Shot fake in the lane. Partially blocked there by Newberry. Bears haven't scored in over 3 minutes. Virgo, she's had a couple of threes and now has 3 in a row here in the second half, in the fourth quarter, actually. And now another turnover for the Bears. Virgo steps into another and knocks it down. Oh, boy. Don't look now. All of the sudden, Newberry has cut the lead down significantly here in the fourth quarter, and most of it has been Virgo knocking down 3. She's got 4 of them here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we thought this was over about halfway through the third. And, yeah, cutting the lead down to 14. LR just can't ease through the rest of this game now. They have an active shooter.
And she's hot.
4 in a row. That's going to be tough. If she can keep shooting like this, but Lenoir-Rhyne needs to get somebody to kind of lock her down. But the way their defense is, they're flowing. The Bears' defense is flowing really good, and you might be able to see it in this. Nope, just a wide-open 3 by Virgo.
That was the first one. Or no, that was the second one after the steal. But she hit one,
yes,
and then a steal, and then that one that you just saw right there in the Spangler replay. Crooks almost lost it out of bounds, but was able to get it to Harmon. The Bears have turned it over 6 times here in the fourth quarter, which has really fueled this run for Newberry. Harmon stops the bleeding and breaks a nearly 4-minute scoreless streak there for the Bears with that elbow jumper. She's got 16 now to lead all scorers.
And you see Coach Graham Smith, he sigh of relief, but I think Wisely kind of rolled her ankle down in the post, limping around.
Just stepped funny, and there's an and one for Bongiorno. Fouls on Harmon. That's her second. But this is not the finish that Graham Smith was hoping for to this game, as Bongiorno completes the three-point play. But the points coming in bunches now for Newberry. All of a sudden, they've woken up offensively here in the fourth quarter.
I think they woke up defensively first. I mean, they really turned on the press here. They've been using it pretty much all game, but it just looks a little bit more energized. And they are swarming these Bears players every time they touch the ball.
10 to shoot. Harmon feeds Hudson. Shot fake and drive, and one. So the two leading scorers for the Bears have weathered the storm here. Harmon with a bucket the last possession, and Hudson with one on this possession. And the lead is back to 15.
There's a replay of it there.
This is Brandy's second highest scoring game of the year. Misses the free throw. And Lindstrom knocks that ball out of bounds back to Newberry.
A little over 60% or 63% free throw shooting from the Bears today. Definitely a little bit different than their last game where they had 82%. This one's not over quite yet.
Bongiorno, a lane line jumper, misses the rim. And Harmon will walk the ball up the floor. Next foul on Newberry is the bonus for the Bears. Free throw line. Jump shot there for Harmon is gathered up on the offensive glass by Hudson, but she misses the bunny.
Yeah, Dillinger not able to get it. She's got only 4 rebounds today, but limited time on the court because of those fouls, and that's going to be Wisely picking up, I believe, her 14th point of the game.
Her and Virgo both in double figures for Newberry. Virgo, all of a sudden, all of her points have come from 3. She's got 5 threes and 15 points, but there's a foul there on Paraha. And Emily Harmon will go to the free throw line. This is the last person you want to send to the free throw line if you're Newberry. 4 for 4 today, hovering right around 95% on the season.
I was going to say something, but I don't want to give the announcer's curse, so I'll keep it to myself. But Bongiorno for the Wolves, she came in as the leading scorer. She's really had a quiet day. Only 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals. So, but pretty quiet in the points category. We just haven't seen the Wolves really be able to get that going at all today, except here in the last little bit.
She kicks to the corner, finds Pearson, who knocks down a 3. The freshman from England knocks that one down. Only her second three-pointer of the entire season. She was 1 for 15 from behind the tape line coming in.
Yeah, 12 points with 2.5 left. You're almost thinking for the Wolves, you know, if you can cut that down to under 10, maybe you can use those fouls, but then that goes to the Bears. They are going to be in the bonus.
Harmon, a long floater that she knocks down. Kind of got caught between jump shot and floater there, but didn't matter for Emily, who's up to 22 all of a sudden. She had a fairly quiet scoring first half, but has really turned it up here in the second. Wisely missed it with the left hand. Good defense from Dillinger to not foul. She's in the game with 4.
Harmon had a quiet first half, but she's got 22 points on the board now.
And Newberry lost Hudson there. Harmon found her. And Brandy's got 18 now.
That might be the lead the Bears need.
Yep, that probably is comfortable enough right there for LR with 90 seconds to go.
Yeah, a little bit out of the range of fouling, but the Wolves they're going to play to the final minute. We thought this game was over a little bit after halftime, but, they had some life with about 7 minutes left.
After that 15-2 run for the Bears to start the second half, there's another three. The only reason why Newberry is in this game at all is because of the threes. That one knocked down by Bongiorno, and timeout called by Newberry here with 1:10 to go. But Newberry is 6 for their last 7 from behind the three-point line after they just could not throw it in the ocean in the first half. But things have really picked up offensively here for the Wolves.
And if you're the Bears and you're playing against a team that hasn't shot the ball well at all, 3-point from the field, make them shoot those threes, kind of like they did for Tusculum. Tusculum wasn't a very big three-point shooting team, but they got hot from beyond the arc, and then that put them in the lead and put the Bears in a hole. It's just kind of a little bit of the opposite today where the Bears had a really comfortable lead, but the Wolves just got hot beyond the arc, and that's so hard for the Bears if they're a down-in-the-paint type of team.
Full court press for Newberry has also yielded some steals and production, but not this time. It's not quite over yet, but Harmon gets fouled there by Erica Reed. So Emily will shoot 2, and as long as you can send Emily Harmon at the free throw line here at the end of the game, if you're LR, you feel pretty good about your chances.
Yeah, 6 for 6 on the day. 7 for 7. Just shot all year long. Only missed 2 on the free throw line coming into today.
And those 2 were back-to-back on the same trip to the line. She's been perfect other than that, as Bongiorno will come back in.
Yeah, being the leading scorer and only 4 rebounds out of being the leading rebounder, leading the team in assists, just dominating the stat sheet. And she's just such a dynamic player and can do it all for the Bears. And that really helps the rest of the team, especially in the assists, because that's going to create more opportunities for her to score and make this Bears team a little a threat going into the SAC championship. Man!
There's another 3 by Bongiorno. This one from the other corner. And now they will foul Harmon. You probably could hear the Newberry bench screaming for the Wolves to foul Tilda Lindstrom instead of Harmon, but they didn't. Tilda got the ball to Emily, and she'll head back to the line.
Yeah, 12 points is going to be pretty tough to make up in about 39 seconds, but they're going to try. They're going to play all the way down to the end.
There it is. I knew it was coming eventually. The miss, but still, as you said, a comfortable lead. She misses both. Yeah. But the ball will stay with the Bears as Dillinger fought for it with Ella Pearson down there on the block.
Yeah, leading scorer in today's game, Harmon, 24 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals. Had herself quite a game, even though it was off to a little bit of a slow start where we saw Hudson really kind of explode. But Hudson, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 steals, and a pair of assists.
It's a held ball. Possession arrow favors Newberry, so they'll get it back with 36 to go.
Blakely Crooks kind of had a quiet day on the scoreboard, but she's got 6 rebounds and 6 assists, so definitely something to think about on the defensive side.
Finally a 3-point miss for Newberry there as the shot clock is turned off. We'll see if they continue to foul. Doesn't look like they will. So even though things got a tad dicey here down the stretch, the Bears were very much in control of this game, basically from start to finish. And head into the Christmas holiday on a winning note, a 12-point home victory for Lenoir-Rhyne today over Newberry here on this Monday before Christmas.
Yeah, Bears pretty much in control of this game all the way. Pretty even on the stat sheet. Rebounding, turnovers, points off turnovers. The Bears had 27 compared to the Wolves' 14. Second chance points, everything really, really close. But, the Bears just in control all the way. But they had a 28-point lead at one point in this game. So to knock it down to 12 that late in the game, it did give the Bears a little bit of a scare at the end there. But, able to finish it out. On to the next one. Got a pretty good break. I think they're going to be ready for that 2022 season.
Bears finish off their home schedule in 2021 on a good note. A 12-point win over Newberry, 73-61. Chris Rickenbaugh, the rest of our crew, Eric Bach saying so long from the shoe. We'll see you in about 25 minutes as the men's game will tip off then right here on the Bears Sports Network.